Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Richmond Raceway right here in Richmond, Virginia, here for the QSR Xfinity Series live on Vspeed. Good evening, folks. I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Got Morgan Cook up here, also going to be giving some, broadcasting and also doing some great camera angles, which, by the way, Morgan, you've done a fantastic job producing this season, giving everybody all those crazy camera angles, all that other good stuff. But folks, I'm telling you, we're in store for some serious racing tonight. I mean, if you love short track racing, you're gonna get it here tonight at Richmond. And Morgan, buddy, I mean, there it is right there. Obviously, 3/4 of a mile right here, Richmond, Virginia. Talked about it, 14 degrees in the turns, 8 degrees on the front. But Morgan, me and you, we were talking about this before the race or before we went live. A lot of guys got some scores that they want to settle out here on the racetrack from stuff that's happened last week, stuff that's happened maybe even 3-4 weeks ago. In my eyes, this is the perfect place to settle those scores.
Racing perfection, the action track, all words you can use to describe Richmond Raceway. You can run the top, you can run the middle, you can run the bottom, and be fairly successful in all three lanes. Very easy to move somebody with these fast corners. Turn one is a dive bomb opportunity if there ever was one. And Jake, as you mentioned, there's a lot of scores to settle in this QSR Xfinity series. I may be involved in a few myself. It's really quite hard to say. But some penalties as well levied against drivers. We got some some drivers parked for tonight. We've got some drivers needing to do a drive-through penalty to start the race. It'll be a wild one here in Richmond.
Yeah, I mean, it always is here at Richmond. And funny that you mentioned that with drivers getting parked. If we can look at the point standings coming into tonight. And obviously, up there at the top of that is Daniel Monix, Ronnie Joyner. You got Jared Ziegler, got Team Vspeed, Morgan Cook, Bradley Cooper. Cooper done a fantastic job out there in qualifying. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But you see it all the way down the line. One thing we do want to take note of, that man sitting up there at the top right now, literally 47 points ahead of Ronnie Joyner. Ironically enough, Joyner and Ziegler tied for that second spot in the points. But the man ahead of them, 47 points ahead of these guys, Daniel Monix, will not be here this evening. He has a one-race suspension that he has to serve for after the checkered flag activities, if you want to put it that way. Morgan had some activities that or that took place after our race last week at Rockingham, and QSR officials, they didn't like that too much. And they're going to let Daniel Monix end up sitting out this week. Also, as you mentioned, a couple of drivers getting an EOL. That means end of the line. And one of those drivers being Galen Wunsch from that dirt track save that he had last week at North Carolina, but unfortunately merged back up into traffic a little bit too much and caught Morgan Cook in the middle of it, which may be where that score to settle is what you were talking about earlier, Morgan. But I'm telling you, I mean, this right here, this is going to be an interesting race, as you see right there. Race analysis, 120 laps, 35 miles per hour on that pit road speed, 4 sets of tires. That's 3 in the pits, 1 on the car, 2 green, white checkers, 100% fuel capacity, and obviously a fixed setup, iRacing fixed setup right here for the QSR Xfinity Series here tonight at Richmond. But Morgan, real quick, who are we thinking, if you had to pick one of these drivers out here on the field, who you thinking is going to get this win here tonight?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. And a question we're going to get to right after we do the grid, so I can think about it, Jake Reeves. You put me on the spot, and I don't have a good answer for you right now. Here you go. Read them off.
Well, we'll get to that here in a second. And matter of fact, one of those drivers had a little bit of that controversy from last week. Jared Ziegler in the 57. He's been lighting it up this season, folks. He's going to start on the pole this evening. Caleb Nelson, your winner back in Homestead earlier this season. He's going to start to the outside of row number 1. Right behind him, Ronnie Joyner. He needs to have a fantastic night tonight. Be able to overtake Daniel Monix with that point lead. He's going to start 3rd. Trent Wilkin will start in 4th. Bradley Cooper, Vspeed. going to start in 5th with Kevin West, who's been on an absolute tear this season. He's going to start P6. A name that we haven't really talked about a lot, Morgan. Bradley Hall going to start in 7th. Randy Sally starting in 8th. Marshall Newton will roll off 9th. And Joseph Terciano, boy, that's a name for you. He's going to roll off P10.
Starting in 11th tonight, Ryan Philbrick. I believe his first start of the season in the 19. Derek McMurtry alongside, rounding out row number 6. Starting 13th, Frank Walsh in the 54. CJ Gates in the 10 will start 14th. 15th, Quentin Stewart, Mr. CEO himself in the 24. Brent Dow in the Clemson car will start 16th. 17th, Austin Thomas in the 20. Spencer Johnson in the 29 starts 18th. 19th, Mike Petrin in the 60. Brandon Yates will start 20th.
And Austin Dowdy, Galen Wunsch, Ethan Wisnowski, and Reed Sanders. That is the 24 drivers that's going to be out here on the grid. And Morgan, try to put you real quick on the spot. I mean, I got a feeling you're going to end up saying Bradley Cooper. I mean, obviously, to win this race. But if it wasn't Bradley, who are you going to be keeping your eye on right here?
I like this 12. I see Trenton Wilkin there running the top side. He was, I believe, fastest in practice on the short run, and I think that'll translate well throughout this race. I guess we're going to sit down and find out here. One more lap under pacing, and then we can turn him loose.
Yeah, usually here on these short tracks, usually iRacing ends up for this opening lap to go ahead and give them an extra lap, make sure everybody's good to go, especially for the short tracks. If it was Talladega, Atlanta, something like that, you'd end up getting it as soon as they roll off. The next time they hit the line, they would go green. But like I said, folks, a lot of stuff that's been going on this season. Obviously, we've had a lot of winners. We've had a lot of surprise winners. One of those drivers being out there in that 14th spot. Hell, he won at Indianapolis earlier on this season. At number 10 is CJ Gates, sitting back there in the 14th spot. He does have that win, so it should be good to go for him. We come playoff time here in about 3 weeks, but here we go. All the beef, all the talk, all the chaos as we are green here at Richmond. Ziegler, Nelson, they're going to go into turn number 1. Joyner already starting to try to take a peek down to the inside. But Ziegler going to keep it on the bottom. Nelson's going to get the run off of the turn.
Great side-by-side battle here for the 3rd spot. Really loose on cold tires. These cars will be, especially into turn number 3. So everyone makes it through okay first time around.
Now you see that battle for second. Ziegler and Wilkin. Wilkin trying to roll the top side, trying to maybe find some grip up there. Basically like Nelson did. Caution on the speedway. Looking back through the field. May have been somebody with a self-spin. Maybe, I believe that is Hall. Bradley Hall, I believe it was. That ends up going around, brings out the first caution of the event.
There he is running the bottom. See West on the outside. Into turn number 1. I have a feeling I know what happened here. Yeah, you can see him loose on the brakes. Hit the apron. Never had that thing stable into the corner. And self-spin, harmless. And other than track position, he should be just fine.
Yeah, Morgan, that is very, very typical for drivers to drive in, especially going into 1. I've seen it happen in 3. I've had it happen to me a couple of times in turn 3. But you see right here on that instant replay right here, right behind Bradley Cooper, and you're going to see Hall diving in. Yeah, look right there, like you said, the wheels already kicked to the right. He was already dirt tracking it going into the corner, and then at that point, he tried to dirt track it coming out, and he wasn't able to hold on to it. Thankfully, was below that yellow line and was able to stay clear of anybody trying to come through there and T-bone him right there. But Nelson's going to get the lead right here. Obviously got it off of that restart. Ziegler's second. Wilkin was in a big-time battle with Ziegler. Thought Ziegler may end up having to give up that second spot and give it to Wilkin. And then Joyner and Cooper, that is the top 5. And pretty interesting, I guess you could say, so far. You know, clean to a certain extent right now, Morgan.
Yeah, if you want to get into who was the biggest beneficiary of that caution, how about the 199, Galen Wunsch? Was serving a penalty, a drive-through penalty, in fact. Came out the other side, did not lose a lap at Richmond, nearly unheard of. Back of the field, but on the lead lap, penalty served. That is the best break that 199 could ask for.
Yeah, I don't even know if we could actually say this or not, but he is a lucky dog. Hopefully we don't get any copyrighted on that or anything, but he is. I mean, really, I mean, that is luck right there, Morgan, to be able to do that. Because usually when you end up going down pit road under green, 9 times out of 10, yeah, you're going a lap down, maybe even 2 laps down right there. So, it's like I've said before, one man's fortune, or one man's loss is another man's gain. I've seen it numerous times, and happens in the real world, also happens in the virtual world as well.
Yeah, just a good break for the 199. Some good racing up here so far. 5 laps into 120 here at Richmond. These laps should go by pretty quickly. Solid battle up at the front. Haven't really seen who's got that fast car yet tonight. And a long run, I think, is going to go a long way in determining who ends up winning this race.
And Morgan, one thing about these Xfinity cars that I've experienced in my time with these things is you're really going to be watching these guys, especially coming off of turn number 2. You see it a lot really off of 4 with maybe some rear wheel spin or whatever. They try to get back into the throttle, and the car just kind of wants to snake around a little bit. So you get your looseness really coming off of 4. You can get loose coming off of 2, but as the tires wear down, and I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, as I do believe we're coming around 1 to green right here. If the pace lights are going to be shut off, yes, they are. Coming off of 2, usually in these Xfinity cars, it's like driving a damn bulldozer. You just get tight and you just start sliding up, and that turn 2 wall can jump out and bite you real fast.
Well, with Kevin West, we're going to see a little bit of the reason why as we get all the way out here to the wall. Maybe might be able to see it right here. There's a big bump in the racetrack, big kind of like a hill almost, that you get a push going up the hill, and then you crest it, and you're into the wall. It's my least favorite corner in all stock car racing, turn 2 Richmond.
Yeah, it's a pain. It really is, and I've hit that turn 2 wall, and about every one of these drivers, they probably experienced it themselves. Here we go, pace car off, and we are green once again, and Nelson, Caleb Nelson, I think he caught the field sleeping on that one, son. Ziegler back here trying to hold off Wilkin and Joyner. Joyner kicked up on the top side. Wilkin trying to go for 3rd. And don't count out that one car. Kevin West up here trying to reel these guys in, but Joyner trying to get the run on the outside. Looks like he's going to get it on Wilkin.
Yeah, he got him. That's a cleared position off of turn number 4. Top 5, 7, 8 single filed out.
And this is, this is going to be normal to see right here, as we actually do see a battle with teammates back here, McMurtry and Frank Walsh. There you see the 13 right there, Brad Allen. Allen's had a fantastic season, even with the Clemson colors on the car. Doing a pretty good job right here trying to hold some of these guys off. But, I mean, this is what you're going to end up getting to see is that old short track feel, really. You may see some guys try to get these runs in the middle lane and try to drive around them on the outside, middle, whatever. There you see a little bit of that action right there with Austin Thomas getting up into that turn 2 wall, getting a little bit tight, running out of room. But that old short track feel I was talking about, a lot of guys want to try to ride that bottom. That's when you end up seeing people lay the bumper to one another and try to slide them up the hill. As you see Thomas still going after Allen.
Might clear him off the corner. He will not clear him off the corner. Got on the wall again, actually, the 20 did. Claimed its first victim twice, and it was the same car. That's going to happen. Say, I just despise that turn 2. And a lot of drivers are going to find it here throughout this race.
Unfortunately, Thomas gets it 2 times in 2 laps right there. So, folks, if you're keeping score on that one right now, it is even 2-2 right now for Thomas and the wall. But Thomas sitting back here in about the 14th spot. Still got a long way to go here in this race. As the battle for the lead starting to kind of heat up here, Morgan Ziegler putting a lot of pressure right now on Caleb Nelson. Nelson trying to wrap the bottom, trying to wrap it all the way around that yellow line. Ziegler putting a lot of pressure right on his back bumper. And don't count out Ronnie Joyner. Joyner and Ziegler, they've had a little bit of history as well, Morgan. So a lot of crazy things going on up here as the top 3 have literally separated themselves from Trent Wilkin, comfortably sitting in the 4th spot. But the top 3, they're showing that they are the big dogs here tonight in Richmond.
About a second back to the 12, and then right behind him is Kevin West. And those 2 drivers are gapping themselves from Bradley Cooper running 6th. And a bit of a surprise up here, Marshall Newton up in the 7th position. Having a good run there in that, I imagine Jimmy Johnson inspired 76, if I had to guess where that paint scheme idea came from. Looking good there in the 7th spot. Caution on the speedway, however. Spencer Johnson and Brent Allen.
And Reed Sanders. Add Reed Sanders to that mix as well, but Reed Sanders actually was an innocent bystander of what you're going to see right here when they was coming off of turn number 4. You'll see Allen. Allen drives it in on the inside. Wow, I mean, he just came right down on his door. A little bit of door banging right there coming off of 4. Johnson gets into Allen. Allen comes through and then ends up cleaning out Reed Sanders. Sanders hard into the inside wall. End up knocking the whole front end off of it, and hell, he just backed straight out. He just went ahead and towed, I believe. But now, Brent Allen, that looks like a short track car right there, Morgan. He ain't even got a front bumper on that sucker. That looks like a damn modified right there.
Yeah, he's leading the modified division, as we say on iRacing. Let's see what happened here. This was a bit of a weird one. A really deep drive into the corner for Spencer Johnson. Not sure what happened there. And then he just tried to drop down and didn't know the 13 was there. That's a strange incident. You don't expect to see that very often. And huge hit for the 4, like you said. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, and then you saw right behind him, Mike Petrin, he almost ran slap into that. I mean, every bit of that happened right in front of the number 60. He was able to get on the binders and stay away from every bit of it. Looks like everybody is content right now so far as to staying out on the racetrack right now. Nobody wanting to come down and go get those 4 fresh tires. Looks like track position is going to be the key here tonight.
Yeah, we're split about 50-50. First driver off pit road, Ronnie Joyner, was running 3rd. Now will be 13th. Trenton Wilkin, Kevin West, Cooper is part of that group as well. Ryan Philbrick, CJ Gates, Frank Walsh, Bradley Hall, Brandon Yates, Ethan Wisnowski, and Brent Allen, obviously, with the damage. Those drivers all hit pit road. The top 10 has stayed on the racing surface.
Yeah, I mean, and that's about what I was expecting to probably see. I was expecting either to see everybody stay out or just go ahead and then see a 50-50 deal. I mean, I figured people was going to stay out and try to get that track position, but I mean, Morgan, I mean, I don't know about this call right here. I mean, 18 laps in. I mean, yeah, I mean, I know this place is somewhat of a cheese grater. Obviously, you do want the grip, especially coming off of 4 and really coming off of 2, as we've already saw Austin Thomas a couple of times sliding up and hitting the fence. But, I mean, this early, I mean, even with 19 laps, I don't know. I'm thinking this is just going to be a track position race. I mean, at least that's from what I've experienced in the past.
I do like this move for those top 3 who pitted. Joyner, Wilkin, West, and you can add Cooper to that list too. Because they already had showed that they can run up in the top 6 or 7, I like the move for them, just trying to flip-flop the leaders. Everyone else, I think this is simply I'm having trouble getting up to the leaders. Let's try and do something different. So we're going to find out how strategy shakes out. Obviously, you never know at this point in the race, but a couple of drivers sitting pretty right now just took off on the restart.
Caleb Nelson once again is going to fire off. He's going to get gone. Marshall Newton trying to dive down to the inside, but he lays off of the gas pedal, a little bit more on the brake pedal. He's going to let Ziegler go. Newton going to try to slide back in that 3rd spot. Randy Sally up here with the wall riding. Austin Thomas may have found him a little nickname as he got in the wall again coming off of turn 2. That's 3 for 3 if you're keeping score at home. And Thomas, matter of fact, he might have got up in the wall, but he was taking a shot at Sally. As there you see Nelson, Ziegler, and Newton going at it.
Great battling throw. We got a lot of cars back here. You see a lot of new tires in this group. The 1, the 00. They're 4 wide at Richmond.
Woo! I'm telling you, that's what you get right here when you watch QSR Xfinity Series here live on Vspeed. There you see Brent Allen right behind Spencer Johnson. Remember, both of those guys got a little bit of a beef and match.
Oh, we're wrecking.
Earlier on, as there they go. Allen goes around. Caution is out. And once again, Allen going to be a part of another caution. And I think he might have drove in there a little bit deep. And I think he might have got Johnson on that one right there.
I am not sure, but we're going to go back and find out here right away. Yeah, there's that crazy 4 wide, and you see Cooper trying to slice and dice through the center, figure something out. And Spencer Johnson, I don't know if he just doesn't have any acceleration off the corner, but that's twice now. He is almost looked like he's parking it off of turn 4. And then, yeah, he got some help, big time.
Oh, yeah, and add Frank Walsh to the middle of that as well. Frank ends up getting involved. Didn't look terrible, I guess you could say, on the 54, but obviously he's got a little bit of damage on the front of that race car. But, I mean, this being short track, you really ain't got to worry too much about aerodynamics as much as you would, say, Atlanta or Chicagoland or something like that. So this being short track, you're not too worried about it, but Frank is going to decide to go down pit road, try to get some of that damage fixed. A couple of other drivers is going down as well. So now I am seeing the 54's hood. There you see it just a little bit right there on the broadcast. Hood kind of flopping up and down a little bit. So when your hood's flopping around like that one right there, Morgan, you probably want to end up going ahead and getting that bad boy fixed.
Yeah, suboptimal is what I would call the aerodynamics on that 54 after he got that damage, but that's okay. We can live with that here at Richmond. It's not going to impact it too bad so long as the suspension is all pointed where it's supposed to. That's what's really important here on this short track. That caution, though, kind of bailed out some drivers. Ronnie Joyner, Kevin West, CJ Gates were able to gain a few spots and some track position and all that fun stuff. They're a couple rows closer to these leaders who have yet to hit pit road.
Yeah, and we'll see how that ends up working out for them right here as pace lights is still on. Everybody trying to slide through there, try to get what they can get. And, also, Morgan, we didn't talk about this a whole lot in pre-race, but, if we can, while we got this opportunity under caution, I want to talk a little bit more about the schedule and what we got coming up for the rest of the QSR Xfinity series. And what we basically got going on is obviously tonight we are at Richmond, the short track of the best, I guess you could say, or however you want to end up looking at it. And then after that, next week, we're going to be at Dover June 18th. And then after that, the week after that, you're going to be at Auto Club. So kind of a weird deal, Morgan, if you think about it, going from a short track to the concrete monster at Dover Motor Speedway. It used to be Dover International Speedway, but they changed the name of it to Dover Motor Speedway. Then you go to where you really see some 4 wide, and that's at Auto Club. And then after that, July the 4th week, that's when the chase will begin for a championship. And pace light's still on right now. Nelson, Ziegler, they're still up here at the front. And your boy Wilkin, sit back there in about the 12th spot. He was one of those drivers that made that early pit stop with Joyner, West, and all the others.
And there is the black and red 12. That was my pick to do well in this race. Yeah, 12th spot, 4th car on fresh tires. I'm still yet to see, obviously, how this strategy is going to work out for these drivers who pit early. But now is as good a time as any to gamble something and see if you can get off strategy, off sequence, and try and make something happen. I mean, strategy can start early in a short track race.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I didn't necessarily make a pick before, we went green. But if I had to make one, honestly, I'm going with a 00. I'm going with Ronnie Joyner because he's got a lot of things going for him in this race. One, point leader, his teammate Daniel Monix, he's out. Joyner's got a shot to try to get up there and get the point lead. The other thing, this is his home track here tonight at Richmond as we are green flag once again. Caleb Nelson standing on the loud pedal. CJ Gates looking to the inside of Kevin West. West trying to go to the inside of Peter and 3 wide going into turn number 1. Everybody trying to keep it clean. Wilkin back there with Bradley Hall.
Oh, Wilkin gets turned.
Through, and Wilkin gets turned down the backstretch. Caution on the speedway.
Oh, and he gets plowed into by a bunch of cars. Dowdy's involved. Huge damage on those cars. Heard a blown engine. That is, I think, day over for the 8.
Unfortunate to see caution out. Wilkin, Yates involved. I believe Ethan Wisnowski gets involved as well. Wow. That got crazy, really. I mean, I don't know if it's 3 wide right here had anything to do with it. We'll check it out right here, Morgan. They got 3 wide. Wilkin back here with
That was
Hall.
the problem, yeah.
Wilkin tries to go right here, and I think Hall may actually made Wilkin come up a little bit over the nose of Petrin right there because it looked like Hall was coming up and Wilkin was just trying to judge himself off of him.
And then there's a few drivers who got sent in pretty good into that one. Ethan Wisnowski comes to mind. He was sideways, like entering that corner. I'm not sure what happened to the 25. Let's go back and see it here. But he slid sideways into the side of Trenton Wilkin here coming through the corner. He's already
right there, yeah.
well behind this. You can see it's wrecking right there. He's on the brakes. Oh, he got some help big time.
Ooh,
from the 54.
Wow, wow, he got nailed from the back end, 54, Frank Washington. Shout out to Wisnowski. You got to give him a little bit of credit, man. He's still rocking the Crocs colors. Gotta love it. Gotta love the Crocs colors right there on Wisnowski. But you're riding on board with Frank Walsh. Finally got that hood fixed on the front end. You see the smoke, and then bam! I mean, I don't know, Morgan. I mean, everything just happened so quick right there for Frank. I'm not sure if he had enough time to get on the brakes right there or not because it just happened so quick. I mean, that's what Richmond is. You just got so much stuff happening that quick of a moment and that quick a time right there. It's really hard to just jam on the brakes, and then he ends up getting run into by Spencer Johnson driving through there as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, things happen so fast here at short tracks. It's so hard to stay off of things when they wreck in front of you. Remember back to Bristol, the All-Star race, I was caught up in 2 accidents before lap 20. And neither of them I really had an opportunity to get away from. They just happened so fast that, I mean, he was on the brakes. I have no doubts about that. He just didn't get on the brakes as soon as the driver in front of him did. And he obviously kind of piled some more cars in there, and it happens. I mean, we see this in real life racing series. It happened in the Xfinity series this past weekend at Sonoma, right? Where caution happens and people just can't slow down fast enough because you're driving race cars. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's very unfortunate. And matter of fact, just as you brought up that Xfinity deal, I have to just ask you this real quick because Morgan, me and you haven't talked a lot because, hell, dude, the past 3 weeks you've been out there racing with these guys, so I haven't had a lot of time to talk to you.
Winning.
Yeah, show off, I guess. But I mean, real quick, I don't know if you saw it or not, but did you see the picture of SVG at Austin Hill with SVG doing the burnout and then Austin Hill hanging the bird out the window? Did you happen to see that one on Facebook or anywhere?
I did not see it, though I did hear about it. I heard that happened. Obviously SVG won that race, which was very impressive, and that he had to move Hill to do it. Hill got his payback, and yeah, that about sums it up. You know, for this weekend, that tells you everything you need to know about that Xfinity race.
I might have to go find that picture. I mean, and you know, folks out there, any of you out there that want to see that picture, I got a feeling you can probably go to Google and probably pull that bad boy up. I bet you NASCAR.com ain't got it on there. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Caleb Nelson, he gets away. Ziegler may have actually been timing at that time. Morgan, is Nelson not able to get away as much as he was on the past couple of restarts? But here you see Austin Thomas. That's 4 for 4 right there, getting up into the fence.
He popped it good that time. That is not going to help that car's ability to get off the corner. I imagine he'll start falling back here pretty quick. He's in the wall again on the front stretch. Not sure what's going on with the 20.
Yeah, I mean, and that's 5. I mean, hell, at this point, I'm tired of keeping count on it. But Ronnie Joyner, one of those guys, going to try to go around him as Thomas again up in the fence. Joyner's going to be able to get by. Here comes Kevin West. West is going to take a shot. He's going to try to get around Thomas. Thomas just trying to hold on for dear life.
Terciano
gets up into the fence as well. Wow, everybody having a difficult time trying to keep it off the wall here at Richmond.
3 wide one more time, CJ Gates. In the middle, he gets through that time without much of an issue down the backstretch.
Looks like Gates is going to be able to try to keep it down on the bottom. We got Bradley Hall right there in front of him. You see Mike Petrin back here. He's trying to make his way to slide up through the field as much as he can. As there you see Thomas going to lose some more spots. Take one to Bradley Cooper. Take one to Terciano. Austin Thomas sliding back big time. And very, very fast. He's sliding back right now. Something, I mean, Morgan, that many times you get into the damn fence, that many times, eventually something's going to happen. I mean, eventually you're going to start dropping back.
And he has yet to hit pit road, so he's also on the older tires, mixed in with the drivers with newer tires. It's going to be an uphill battle for Austin Thomas in the 20. Oh, big issue
Gates.
up there. Great save.
Wow, Gates almost gets hooked off of Bradley Hall. And check it out, Bradley Cooper gonna take it a 2-for-1, get him a twofer. Send it down on the inside, get around both of them. Cooper gonna be up on the top side. Here comes Gates. Gates tries to send it in hard. May end up having a little drag race going into 3 between your Indianapolis winner, CJ Gates, and Bradley Cooper for Vspeed. Both of them duking it out right here inside the top 10.
Looks like Cooper's going to clear off the corner. He will, in fact, clear by a car length off of turn 4 and drive it back down into turn number 1. Everything is just fine. No side-by-side here. See a little further back. Single file out pretty much this entire field. Looks like Austin Thomas settles in 14th spot.
Yeah, I mean, and that right there, I think that's probably got a lot to do with possibly the damage. Probably has a lot to do with the tire wear as well, because you see some of these guys like right there, Ronnie Joyner, he's already made his way back up to 4th on those fresher tires. As we look a little bit back here, you got CJ Gates back here. He's in a little side-by-side battle. Hell, he's got his hands full with Randy Sally. He's going to be able to get around Sally. Right behind him, you got Terciano back here. He's in a side-by-side battle with Derek McMurtry. A lot of battles going on throughout the field, and a lot of it's got to do with guys dive bombing going in the corner, just like you see McMurtry diving it going into turn number 1. Keeps it down on the bottom side. Terciano trying to get the run. But a lot of guys, this is where you was talking about seeing a lot of single file racing, but then it's these dive bombs that these guys are making. That's what's making these crazy, crazy races that you see right here live on Vspeed.
And turn 1 may be one of the most inviting corners to really bury it down in there. We just saw the 23 do it into that corner. Bradley Hall said, yeah, I think I'll take that one from you, Mr. Terciano. And we're going to see it here again, that 06, but I believe it's scored as the 19. Watch from his cockpit here. Look how inviting that turn 1 is. You think you can just sail it in there?
Yeah, I mean, it's wide open. I mean, everybody's literally letting that inside lane go. And, I mean, obviously you got to enter a little bit high to dive it down in, like what they're doing. You got to be able to do it that way to be able to try to make the corners. So that opens up that big time. You're going to see guys like you was already seeing, guys trying to dive it, dive bomb, trying to get into the corner. But at the same time, those guys dive bombing into the corner, you got to worry about them trying to slide up and maybe end up putting you in the fence coming off too.
This is the point in the run, about 45 laps in, where you got to start thinking about what can I do to save my tires to make lap time. You see, this is where diamonding the corner starts to be impactful, as the top 5 are all separated there on your screen. What do you think? Through your field time, Jake?
Yeah, let's go through the field. And I mean, the man that we haven't really talked a whole lot about up here at the front, which Caleb's probably going to be watching back on the broadcast and going, damn, I wish y'all would have talked about me. Well, yeah, Caleb Nelson up here leading the race. Done a fantastic job. He's been able to hold off Jared Ziegler, who's comfortably sitting in that 2nd spot right behind him. Ziegler obviously had a shot to try to win last week at North Carolina, Rockingham, I should say, but had a couple of issues. He ends up finishing, or comfortably sitting in 2nd. Right behind him, Marshall Newton, one of the big movers so far in the field, started 9th. He's jumped all the way up here to 3rd. And one of those drivers that did elect to go down and get 4 fresh tires, Morgan, that's Ronnie Joyner. Talked about it, home track. Big deal right here for Joyner to try to get up here, get a podium spot, or hell, even end up getting that monkey off his back, getting a win here this evening. Man right behind him won last week at Rockingham. Kevin West, I mean, trailer park dude, tick-tock. I mean, he's been on a tear so far this season with 3 wins, trying to make it 4 here tonight. This is the big one right behind him in 6th. Galen Wunsch in the 199. Morgan, you talked about it. Had a big, deal, had to do the EOL, had to go down pit road, serve that. He got lucky, got the caution on lap 3, was able to get back out there, not go a lap down. And since then, he's been able to make it work and drive himself almost into the top 5. So Galen Wunsch sitting in that 6th spot right behind him. Bradley Cooper in the 5 for Vspeed Racing Network. As you check it out right there, he looks like he is straight up zoned in right there with the driver cam. You got to be zoned in here at Richmond. Bradley doing a fantastic job in the number 5 out here, comfortably sitting in 7th. Right behind him, your Indianapolis winner, CJ Gates, comfortably sitting inside the top 10 right now. Started 14th. He's got his way up in 8th. And that's what you need. You need to be able to have good finishes, carry momentum, especially with playoffs here in the next 3 weeks. Derek McMurtry in the 48. He's sitting back there in 9th place. Started 12th, so really hasn't made a whole lot of gains, but still doing a pretty good job. And also got the Lowe's colors, got the Jimmy Johnson deal, but also got a little Monster Inc. going on right there on the hood of that thing. You know, got the Mike and Sully deal on the hood of it. Pretty cool to see out of that 48. And then another driver. How about this for a debut right here with Ryan Philbrick, a guy that, it's like you said, Morgan, we haven't talked a lot about him because, well, hell, he hasn't been out here. His very first race. How about it out here for Ryan Philbrick? Come out here and maybe end up trying to crack a top 10 here in Richmond. That'd be big right there. Terciano back here as well, sitting in the 11th spot. He's done a fantastic job being able to try to at least try to get himself a top 10 in that 83. He's sitting in the 11th spot. Bradley Hall, we talked about him as he's actually in a side-by-side battle with Randy Sally. But Hall, we saw him, he spun out on the first lap. Now he's sitting up here in the 12th spot, doing a fantastic job right behind him. As you see Randy Sally doing a fantastic job as well. Both of these drivers that you see started 7th and 8th. Now they're running 12th and 13th respectively. And yeah, you know we got to talk about him. Austin Thomas. We lost count. We quit counting how many times this man's hit the wall, but he still got a shot to try to get a top 15 finish. And then also back there in the 15th spot, the CEO of QSR. That's Quentin Stewart. Check it out, baby. He's got the driver cam rocking right there. And he's going to be able to try to get around Austin Thomas right here. That's the battle for the 14th spot. Quentin Stewart just trying to salvage, I guess you could say, for the day. And then right behind them, Brent Allen. He's back there in the 13th or the 15th spot, 13 car. Actually 16th now, actually, since he's moved back a little bit. But the Clemson colors not looking too bright here tonight for Brett Allen. Right behind them, Mike Petrin sitting back there in the 17th spot, doing a fantastic job. He's just trying to just keep it clean and maybe end up seeing some chaos as we have just passed the halfway point in this race. Spencer Johnson back there, he's went through his struggles tonight. He's just trying to hold on and just hope the race ends very, very quickly, I guess you could say, for Spencer Johnson. And then Ethan Wisnowski, he's actually fixing to go a lap down to the leaders that you see right here, Newton and Joyner and West, all them going around the Crocs colors of Ethan Wisnowski. And I believe he's the last driver that's actually racing out there on the track. No, he's not. Brandon Yates is back there as well. That is the top 20. That's where we'll stop right there, folks. As you see Frank Walsh back there as well. And I think Austin Dowdy and Reed Sanders have called it a night. But that's your through the field right here for the QSR Xfinity Series on V-Speed. There you see Caleb Nelson. Still got that lead over Jared Ziegler.
And over the last 15 laps or so, nothing's changed. In the top 5, 6, 7, they're exactly the same distance, exactly the same cars in the same order. Only driver we didn't talk about, Trenton Wilkin in the 12. He is 22nd. He has left the server. Done for the day. He will finish 22nd.
Yeah, and you hate to see that right there, for Trent, especially for you. I mean, hell, you picked him, and
that was a commentator's curse. So I put my hand up, and that's on me. I should have said nothing. My bad. Maybe we'll get him next. Maybe we'll get them next time.
Well, I mean, Morgan, me and you, we swap places at least for a week right here, and now you get to experience the crap that I end up going through. Usually when I pick a driver, he ends up wrecking. So, Trenton, if you want to blame anybody on it, blame me for it. But here you go. Spencer Johnson sliding up the racetrack way out of the way. He's going to let Newton, Joyner, West go. Ziegler and Nelson, that's the top 5 in reverse order if you want to put it that way. I do see Brandon Yates going down pit road. He's a couple of laps down already, but Nelson, he's got this thing. I mean, he's trying to hold on as much as he can. And, you know, we talked about this, Morgan, as far as tires go. As many cautions as there's been, Nelson and Ziegler Newton, none of those guys has went down pit road yet. With all the cautions and everything, they should be able to make it on fuel. It's just at what extent is these tires looking like for these guys that did not go down as compared to the other guys like Ronnie Joyner, Kevin West, and Galen Wunsch.
Yeah, if this thing goes green, it'll be a very interesting sort of merging when you have Ronnie Joyner on 20-lap newer tires than the rest of this top 4. They pit, he gets the big lead, they chase him down. Is it enough time? Who knows? That's the beauty of Richmond, is the strategy is so all over the place because the track's so abrasive and the runs are such interesting lengths that I'm not sure what we're expecting to see here. But Joyner just got passed, actually, by Kevin West.
Yeah, Kevin West able to slide into turn 3 and slide right into that 4th spot, get around the 0-0. Ronnie Joyner kicked the trailer park dude, Kevin West, up to that 4th spot. He's going to set his sights on Marshall Newton, maybe try to get up there into that podium spot. But right now, I mean, like I've said before, you know, it is all Caleb Nelson right now. Caution, that may have changed everything, as we got a caution on the speedway. And I'm looking through the field. You see Mike Petrin slow on the racetrack back there with Brett Allen. So caution is out here at Richmond once again.
I think it was Petrin off pit road. It was Petrin off pit road.
Oh!
Just a bad shift. Kicked that thing all the way around into the inside wall.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan, me and you, we've both done that, I'm sure.
For sure.
We've done that, yeah, we've done that for sure. Anybody ever been at Dover and was in second gear and then they ended up shifting from second to first instead of second to third? I'll raise my hand up on that one, and I screwed the whole field. I was starting up front, so that is, I mean, guys, I mean, everybody, I mean, this is iRacing. I mean, they're not professional drivers, I guess you could say, but I mean, stuff happens sometimes. You see Petrin and Allen, all those drivers going down. Doesn't look like Caleb and them is going to end up making. Actually, yes, they did end up going down pit road. Ended up taking those 4 fresh tires. So Caleb Nelson, he's going to beat off Ziegler. He's going to beat Marshall Newton off with Kevin West and Ronnie Joyner. Everybody electing to go down, get 4 fresh tires, maybe get some fuel just to be on the safe side to see what happens. But folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll bring you back here for the QSR Xfinity Series live on Vspeed here at Richmond.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Oh!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
We're back here at Richmond live on Vspeed for the QSR Xfinity Series. Looks like the pace lights is out. You didn't miss a thing with that commercial break. Nelson, he's going to be down on the bottom side. Jared Ziegler will be second. Just look at that right there. Absolutely beautiful. Richmond International Raceway, Richmond Raceway, however you want to look at it. All these name changes going through all of these tracks. thinking old school and then having to go a little new school, having to make the change at it. But one thing's for sure, Richmond, it only went through one different configuration, and that's about it. So the start-finish line, matter of fact, used to be on the backstretch, kind of flip-flop, kind of like Darlington, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Way back in the day, it's green flag in the air. Nelson, he's going to fire off. He's going to get away. Ziegler going to be back here. Newton tries to dive it down on the inside. Kevin West, big stack up on the bottom side. Nelson almost gets turned by Ziegler, but he's able to try to keep it straight. Ziegler gonna put up a challenge now. Jared Ziegler finds that the time is now. He's got the hammer popped back, and he's got it loaded, rocked, and ready to rock, baby. He's trying to go for the lead, but he's not gonna be able to do it. Nelson will get clear and reassume the lead.
The 07 has been so strong on the short run and just unbeatable on the long run. A little loose off the corner there. That's not going to help the momentum at all. But the 57 cannot take advantage of that slip off of turn 2, and they're stacking up behind him.
Big time stack up back here. Kevin West gonna look down to the inside of Marshall Newton. Newton tries to pitch him down. Tries to maybe get Kevin West to lift a little bit. West had to lift a little bit. That's what Newton wanted. Newton, he's gonna hold on to third. West gonna hold back fourth. Joyner sends it hard going into 3 and 4. He's got Bradley Cooper all over his back bumper. Joyner trying to drive like the bandit right now. Cooper's basically driving like Buford T. Justice, trying to give chase. As here comes C.J. Gates on the inside of Galen Watch. Holy hell, give these guys a caution and watch what happens afterwards, son. These guys are getting at it right here late in this race, coming up on 20.
Oh, he turned up!
To go as Gates gets turned into the wall by Galen Watch. Big pile up on the start-finish line.
Oh, we couldn't have had a much better shot of that one. It happened right in our lap, right off the hood of the 199. Goodness gracious, that's a day ender for a couple cars right there.
Unfortunate right there. And Galen Wunsch adds C.J. Gates to the mix of that. Also, Ryan Philbrick. Hate to see it for him. He was having a fantastic race. He's going to get caught up in this as well. There you see Gates goes up. Philbrick gets into it. There goes McMurchie as well. He ends up getting into it. Believe it or not, Austin Thomas just drove right through it and didn't hit a damn thing. He didn't even hit the wall when he passed through it, so Austin Thomas was able to get clear of it. But Morgan, talk me through this right here, because, I mean, it looked like CJ come up, maybe Galen come down a little bit. I mean, what are we feeling here?
Well, I expect, if I'm the car on the bottom, I expect the car on the outside to track to the wall every time, right? This is Richmond, for goodness sakes. And that didn't really happen. I mean, Wunsch just kind of hung out in the middle of the racetrack, which is his right. He can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not what the guy on the inside expects. So when you have the nose ahead and you start sliding up the racetrack, as the natural line is, and that guy is firmly planted in that second lane, you're going off his nose every time. I've been there. I've been both cars in that situation. It sucks. Nobody thinks they did anything wrong because no one did anything wrong. But there's 2 wrecked race cars.
Yeah, he basically chalked that one up as a racing incident, as you see Wunsch down pit road. 25, Ethan Wisnowski, last drivers, technically on the lead lap. He is down pit road as well. Got the Crocs colors. He's going to fire off, try to get away. Looks like Wunsch is going to be down pit road for a little bit, because, I mean, that was a hard contact. Actually, Wunsch going to fire off now. I mean, it looked harder probably than what it really was. But Wunsch is going to fire off, as well as Wisnowski and McMurchie. Perfect timing right there, because the pace car was coming around right there. We're coming up on 20 laps to go. Right now, Morgan, we already saw what Jared Ziegler could be able to do right here with Caleb Nelson. We saw him able to get up there on the outside. What I was trying to say a while ago, folks, was he was cocked, locked, and ready to rock. But the word just came out a little bit off, I guess. But Ziegler, he showed that he can use that outside. Obviously, this aggression is going to pick up. Do you think Ziegler may end up having Nelson right here? He's kind of like playing with him like a cat plays with a mouse, basically.
Well, Ziegler has been good on restarts all season long. He's been able to time them quite well, and there's only so many tricks you can play here at Richmond. On the flip side, second place with about 40 laps to go here, they have an awful disadvantage through the restart zone because it's the longer way around and they have to keep the same speed. It makes it difficult to get a good run, but it's probably going to take something. Either you have to be beside him off a 2, pinch the exit down for that guy on the bottom, or you're going to have to maybe use that front bumper a little bit and get after it.
And me being a broadcaster in this particular instance, Morgan, I have to say, use the bumper. We love it. We love the entertainment. We love the contact, the door banging, all that stuff. We absolutely love that kind of stuff. But I'm sure the drivers don't want to see that, and especially maybe some of the fans at home. Hopefully they don't want to see some of the beating and banging, especially if it's with their favorite driver. And I encourage everybody out there in the live chat, shout it out. Who you feeling? Who you want to win tonight? Caleb Nelson, Ziegler, Newton, West, Joyner, Cooper, or could we be looking at maybe even Quentin Stewart, who we haven't talked a lot about here tonight? CEO sitting back there in the 12th spot, or Joseph Terciano sitting in 7th, or even wall riding Austin Thomas. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. 16 cars on the lead lap. Any of them's got a shot. And if a caution was to come out, lucky dog would be Spencer Johnson. He could get his name back into that conversation of somebody to win here tonight at Richmond. Pace car is off. Caleb Nelson down on the bottom side. And Jared Ziegler, once again, is caught sleeping on the restart. West was trying to help him on the restart, wasn't able to do it. Newton sends it down on the bottom side. Ziegler trying to get the run off the top of the quarter, and that's exactly what he's going to get. Ziegler is going to get a hell of a run. Where's he going to go with it? He's going to fall right in line behind Caleb Nelson, putting pressure, almost gets into the back of him.
Not quite enough for the 57. He cannot get around that that 07 of Nelson. He's just too strong out there leading this race. Side by side, though, back for the 4th spot. Got Joyner and West.
Joyner able to hold on to that 4th spot. West has took a couple of shots, tried to see if he can make it stick. Wasn't able to do it. Right behind him, Bradley Cooper. He's trying to hold on. He's trying to get gone. Joseph Terciano, you see this battle right here with Austin Thomas. Right behind him, Bradley Hall. The very first caution of the evening. Spinning off a turn 2. He's been able to learn a little bit. He's been able to keep it straight up here. As now you see Joyner taking a shot down to the inside with Marshall Newton. Newton closes the door. Ziegler is getting runs left and right, but he's just running out of track, to be honest with you, Morgan. As now you see Joyner able to dive down to the inside, Newton up on the top trying to get the run.
This is a racetrack where it's really easy to get side by side with somebody, very difficult to complete that pass. Both lines have about the same speed, but in different places on this racetrack. So Joyner is able to get to that quarter panel, but he cannot get to the door, cannot get clear of the 76.
He is trying. I mean, he has tried ever so much, and not to mention, I mean, he's got to worry about trying to figure out a way to get around Newton. Not only that, worry about that one car, Kevin West, right behind him. West has put a lot of pressure on him, and the only reason West is putting so much pressure on him is because he's got Cooper. You're riding on board with him. Bradley Cooper has been putting a tremendous amount of pressure right now on Kevin West, trying to make that inside lane carry on. Joyner finally gets that inside lane to carry on. He's going to get loose off a 2. Hell of a save by the 00, but he's going to lose a spot to Kevin West, or will he? Drives it on the inside. West may end up getting the run, but hell of a save by the 00, Ronnie Joyner.
West up into the outside wall, but he clears to make that pass. He is now the 4th place driver. And Joyner, yeah, great save off the corner. Not what you want to see, though, when you're just about to pass somebody, is the inside wall as it steps out. That's what the 00 got a good look at.
Woo, boy, Kevin West, he had enough of it. He sat right there and watched Joyner try to give Newton every shot that he could. And finally, when West was able to get around Joyner, next corner, son, he just went in there and got into the back of Newton, sent him straight up the racetrack. West is going to go to 3rd. Newton goes to 4th. Joyner may end up using that same mentality that West had, and maybe hit him right in the back end, knock him up the racetrack if he wants to get gone and try to get those points. Because remember, Daniel Monix is not here tonight. Ronnie Joyner wants to try to get as many points as he can. And what do you got to do? We'll find out what he's got to do. I mean, it's like you always hear, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Well, what would you do to try to lead the points here
76,
for the QSR Xfinity Series?
off the
May
apron
not have
off
to worry
the 4.
about it.
Marshall Newton caught the apron off of turn 4. Big loose for him. This might give the spot to Joyner. It might be exactly the situation he needed because he has not been able to clear this 76 at all. He can get even with him. He can get ahead in the center of the corner, but he cannot clear him on the exit.
He's going to get him that time. He got lucky right there and was able to make it work. So now Joyner going to have to try to reel in Kevin West. Joyner goes to 4th. Newton goes back to 5th. Bradley Cooper sees all that go on, seen a clean pass and maybe a bump and run. Which one's Bradley Cooper going to do as he closes it on Newton? You see some of this battling going on back there in the back. Cooper thought about it, had to get out of the gas, almost ended up running him over. So that's why you see Cooper with that little bit of a gap. As you see back here, there's the 25 of Ethan Wisnowski back here going across the start-finish line. Galen Wunsch right behind him. And Galen Wunsch has got to be sitting there saying, you know, what could have been here tonight, Morgan, because he was up there looking like to get a top 5, and then just a little bit of a slip, I guess you could say, and it ends up costing him. As we see a battle possibly for the lead right here. Ziegler putting some more pressure on him.
Let's ride on board with it. If you were the driver, you're Jared Ziegler, seen right where his eyes are in the race car, staring down the back. Caleb Nelson's machine right there. It's so easy to overdrive when you're in this position. You want to get everything that you can out of it, and very easy to overstep those boundaries just a little bit.
It is so I mean, that's Richmond right there, Morgan. I mean, you can just overstep those boundaries, just jump it just a little bit, and you can cost yourself. We already saw that right there with Ronnie Joyner when he had to give up that spot to Kevin West. Ends up shooting him back. You see Quentin Stewart back here. And a little bit of a side-by-side battle. Stewart now up inside the top 10. Racing against Austin Thomas. Stewart sends it hard on that inside lane. Thomas trying to roll the outside. Will he hit the wall this time? No. So looks like Thomas is going to be one up on the wall this time, but still battling inside the top 10. Stewart sends it, almost contact. Now Thomas gets up into the fence, and Stewart's going to be able to get by and get that night spot.
Not quite clear yet. 20 sends it in on the top side. They are door to door off of turn 2. Dangerous place to be. They're all both well away from the wall, but they're still side by side down into turn 3.
Stewart not wanting to give up, and neither is Thomas. Hell of a battle right now for that night spot. Right behind him, Randy Sally. You got Ryan Philbrick back here with Derek McMurtry. These guys, they're licking their chops. Maybe hoping that something happens right here. Maybe be able to advance. Get a little door banging going on. Maybe they can add themselves into the conversation of trying to get a top 10 here tonight at Richmond. You see Philbrick right here trying to stay with Sally. Stewart and Thomas still too wide back here for the night spot. Hell of a drive by both of them, but Stewart tried to get their door banged to Stewart and Thomas. Wow, I've been sitting there watching these guys right here. This has been a hell of a battle, and Thomas is going to prevail on the outside.
He did finally clear him into turn 3. Quentin Stewart going to have to cool those tires down. He's got 20 more chances to get around that 20 car. See what he's able to mount for a challenge here from the 10th position.
See what he can do, right? And there you see Philbrick back here trying to add his name into that conversation. He's going to jump up to the 11th spot if he can get around Sally, which is exactly what he's going to do. Philbrick, he'll go to 11th. Sally will end up going back to 12th. McMurtry right behind them now. Here comes Randy. Randy tried to dive it down on the inside, maybe tried to put a little crossover on old Philbrick, the newbie here with the QSR Xfinity Series. Not able to do it. McMurtry slams the wall back there behind him. And Brent Allen just trying to hold on for dear life and maybe have a shot with these guys when it gets to it. And Philbrick may end up looking at a top 10. He may be staring at a top 10 when this thing's all said and done right here, Morgan.
At this 19.06 on the racetrack, 19 on the scoring pylon. He has been pretty impressive here for a debut, running right where he started. A little bit of a wrinkle on the right front, but other than that, that thing looks pretty pristine to me. A little help with the rear bumper as well, it looks like, but he's part of that 3-way battle for the 9th spot.
Yeah, that's just short track mentality right there. I mean, if you really want to see a real short track car, go back there and look at Brad Allen. I don't even think they put the front clip back on that thing yet. Actually, yes, they did. But here you go, Mike Patron up here on the outside. There's Newton, there's Cooper. Cooper comes up a little bit. And there was Mike Petrie, 17 laps down right there. And at that point, I mean, when you see that, Morgan, you know, I'm going to take your guys' side here. I'm going to take Bradley's side right here because Bradley's in a battle right here. He's in a battle to try to go for a top 5, and then you try to get around lap traffic like that. I mean, you would expect the lap traffic to give way at least for a little bit to be able to let you try to get up there and try to battle it out for that 5th spot.
Even if you don't give way, just the code, if you will, of being a lap car, just be predictable, right? If you're going to run the top side, be up against the wall, right, where you expect another driver to be. Same thing we had with that CJ Gates incident earlier, right? Just one car not where the other one expected to be, and it makes it very difficult as the faster car is the one who's trying to make the pass. Where is the other guy? Where can I go to be successful and not end up causing a big caution? And that's all that happened there. So good that there was no issue. Good that there was just a little bit of contact and nothing other than that. But Kevin West here, he is making a move. We got a battle for second.
Yeah, Kevin West may have caught us sleeping here just a little bit, side by side, door to door. With Jared Ziegler, Caleb Nelson absolutely loving every bit of this. West gets loose, big loose, able to save it. Hell of a save by West. Couple of them have actually made me eat my words tonight, Morgan. I talked about them getting tied off of 2. These guys are getting loose off of 2, and West is still dirt tracking it off of 4. As you see Newton and Bradley Cooper back here got the lap down machine of Brandon Yates up here in front of him. Yates goes way up high. We're looking 3 wide. Yates into the fence. Cooper may end up using that as much as he can, and Cooper may end up getting himself into the top 5 after that.
I don't know what happened, but I think Newton got put in the wall by that lap car, the 15. Crossover here for the 4th spot, 5th spot. Big loose into the corner is Marshall Newton. Cooper, he will prevail off of the top side.
Good save right there by Cooper. Cooper looked like he almost got a little bit loose right there. West just trying to gather back everything that he could have had right there with Jared Ziegler. So West is going to have to really fight back if he wants to get up here and have a shot with Ziegler. And right now, really, I mean, everybody really needs to be open, for a caution, because I'm not 100% on this, Morgan, but I believe Caleb Nelson has led every freaking lap here tonight. You'd have to look at it right there on the score sheet right there, and pretty close.
There was
109 right
one
there.
lap he did not lead, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was the 23 led a lap under caution. It was Bradley Hall, the only other driver to lead a lap. He stayed out 1 lap longer, and Caleb Nelson will not lead wire to wire no matter what happens over these last 8 laps.
And how about that right there? I mean, we talked about Bradley Hall a minute ago. As you see this battle with Kevin West, Jared Ziegler going around Spencer Johnson. Johnson up into the fence. West has reeled back in Ziegler, but I mean, Bradley Hall, I mean, you got to give it to the man. I mean, hell, he started the race, lap 3, his very first race here with the QSR Xfinity Series. Lap 3, spins it out off of turn 2, and then just out of nowhere, ends up driving back through the field, has a great strategy, and is staring at a top 10, just like Ryan Philbrick is. Both of these drivers, newcomers to the series, coming out here and looking like they're going to post top 10 finishes. Here this evening, Ziegler still got all that pressure from West. Nelson, he's checking out right now. The only thing Nelson don't want to see is a caution. And if he sees a caution, then that gives everybody else a shot to probably try to get up here and win this race. But no caution comes out. Nelson's got this bad boy in the bag.
So I think we found the pattern for the 07 worn-out racetracks. He dominated at Homestead, Miami a few weeks ago. Another worn-out racetrack here in Richmond. He's dominating this race. I think he's probably got Auto Club circled here in just a few weeks. Another worn-out surface there in Southern California. I think he might be one to watch for that race.
And you know what, Morgan? I'll one-up you on that one, honestly, because I'm looking possibly next week to Dover. Dover, it's a wore-out track as well. That place will straight up eat up tires 9 ways to Sunday. As Thomas sends it in hard. Goes all the way to the middle lane. 15 way up on the outside. Wow, pitched him off, almost threw him up in the fence. Wow, Austin Thomas is at a battle for his life right now. Still battling with Brett Allen. I mean, Nelson may not want to watch this right here because he's got this sucker in the bag, and these guys back here racing their tails off. This is maybe where that caution is going to be with these guys racing as hard as they are back here for that 12th spot, but Allen looks like he is going to be able to prevail.
I don't think this is over until the checkered flag waves. That 20 car has been unpredictable. We got a pass for second, door to door, West and Ziegler.
West down on the inside, Ziegler up top in the 57 and a 1. They're going at it for that second spot. Nelson still gone, has got it out to almost 2 seconds. Ziegler able to get clear and try to get away. Coming this time by, 2 laps to go. Has anybody got anything for Caleb Nelson? Basically meaning, is anybody going to bring out a caution? It doesn't look like that's going to happen right now, Morgan. But we see a hell of a battle back here for that second spot.
Trying to get the run off the top side is the one of West. He's loose off the corner. You saw it right there. All the tire tracks up against that wall. He's probably going to have to use the bumper. If he's going to get around the 57, he's got one more chance at it here down to the turn 1 final lap.
We'll see how that plays out. White flag in the air as the bell lap here at Richmond. Kevin West slides up, not able to get the grip. He's going to get a hell of a run off of turn 2, but he can't make it stick. Gets loose just a little bit, but up front, Caleb Nelson coming off of turn number 4. Won at Homestead, and he's going to win here tonight at Richmond, leading 118 laps. 19 laps as it clicks over. Started on the outside of the front row, Caleb Nelson, your winner here at Richmond. Jared Ziegler will end up beating out Kevin West for that second spot. And Kevin West will get third. Ronnie Joyner will get fourth. And Bradley Cooper for Vspeed, Team Vspeed, Morgan, how about it? He's going to get a top 5 here tonight at Richmond.
Yeah, good run for that entire top 5. Not too surprising, the drivers who finished up there. Pit strategy worked out in their favor, and big congratulations to Caleb Nelson, who went out there and he showed them how you get around Richmond.
He done a fantastic job. I mean, that right there, that is just straight up domination. I don't know if I've seen a dominating race like that. Well, matter of fact, I believe we have, Morgan. Think about it, all the way back to Darlington. Who won that one? It was Jared Ziegler. I think he led every single lap. I think he went wire to wire at Darlington earlier on this season. So a lot of guys right now flexing muscle. The playoff time coming here very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. Caleb Nelson may be one of those guys that you're seeing right now as he is enjoying the hell out of this burnout in the grass, on the front stretch, grass or asphalt, however you want to look at it. He's going to be burning it down for quite some time. But a lot of guys wanting to flex some muscle come playoff time here pretty soon, Morgan.
Yeah, this is the time to do it. This is where you got to peak. This is where you got to figure out what you got and show the rest of the field that you are a force to be reckoned with.
Well, folks, with that right there, we are going to take a quick commercial break, round up our podium finishers here for the QSR Xfinity Series from Richmond, live on Vspeed. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it all.
Folks, we're back here at Richmond. Well, we just saw a dominating performance out of that man right there in the 0-7. Mr. Caleb Nelson started on the outside of the front row, and it didn't matter. He ended up leading 119 laps here this evening on to get his second win here this season. Jared Ziegler will end up finishing second from starting first. Ironically enough, both of them flip-flopped here at the end. Kevin West will end up finishing third. We'll talk to those drivers here in just a little bit. The hometown kid, Ronnie Joyner, is going to end up coming home fourth here tonight with Team Vspeed's own Bradley Cooper finishing with the top 5. Marshall Newton will end up finishing 6th. Joseph Terciano will get 7th. Bradley Hall, great drive for him in his first start out here this evening. He's going to finish in 8th. And also a new rookie, a newbie, if you will, Ryan Felbrick will end up finishing 9th. And the CEO of QSR, Quentin Stewart, he's going to round out the top 10.
Finishing 11th tonight, Randy Sally. Great run for that number 69 machine. Finishes in 11th. Brent Allen was driving a modified for a part of this race. Clemson Colors comes home in the 12th spot. Austin Thomas hit everything but the lottery here tonight. He will finish 13th. Derek McMurtry's solid day, quiet day in the 48. He will finish in the 14th spot. Ethan Wisnowski. I am shocked that car's finished on the lead lap. That thing was wadded up. Looked like a crock that went through a shredder. He finishes 15th tonight. Last car on the lead lap. Spencer Johnson caught up in a few incidents. He finished 16th, 2 laps down. Yates also caught up in a few incidents. He finished 17th, 3 down. Mike Petrin, a lot of issues for that 60, 17 laps down and 18th. Galen Wunsch, after catching a lucky break to start it off, he will finish 19th, 18 laps down. Frank Walsh, tough night, 20th, 28 laps behind the leader.
And CJ Gates, he's going to finish 45 down in 21st. Trenton Wilkin, 89 down in 22nd. Austin Dowdy, who had a hellacious crash earlier on in the race, 92 laps down in 23rd. And Reed Sanders went head on into the inside retaining wall on the front stretch, 106 down, finishing in 24th. But Morgan, let's get it fired up, baby. Let's get these drivers in here who went through hell here tonight at Richmond. I believe you're standing by with Mr. Kevin West.
I do have our third place finisher, Kevin West, here up on the broadcast. You got a copy?
Loud and clear there, Morgan.
Right on. Well, I'm glad that it's loud and clear. But third spot for you tonight. A solid run. You started 6th, moved up a few spots, and you chased down that 57 for what felt like 120 laps tonight. You just could never get around him. What did you need differently to move or maybe get around that 57?
I really don't know. I think I needed to restart a little bit closer to the front. We kind of struggled there with track position. Didn't get the best qualifying run. I don't know, man. The 57 and the 07 were really hooked up tonight, right down on the bottom. They obviously put the time in practicing and all that. So I tried to get by the 57 there. I knew I had to get around them quick to have a shot at the 07, but just couldn't quite get the grip I needed down low to get by them. But man, third is it's a good point state for us. We're trying to break into the top 4 before the chase starts, so I think we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, I saw a pretty hefty slide out of that one coming off of turn 2 on the inside of Ziegler there, and good save. I think I saw that you had it pitched onto the left front, and it just really loves to dart into the outside wall. You did a great job not having it do that on you, but yeah, what was your idea on strategy tonight? Were you part of that group that pitted on lap 20, or were you part of the group that stayed out to? And what did you think about that?
Yeah, I pitted on lap 20 there and got some tires. I saw that we had 4 sets in the pit, so I figured we had plenty just in case we had some late cautions. We still have a couple sets, so I came in, took tires there. Was hoping it would go green from there, but we had 3 or 4 quick cautions there that kind of evened things out for us. But and all in all, it worked out pretty good, I guess.
How'd the mobile homies feel about this one?
They were loving that battle there with 57 at the end, man. Had quite a few people watching, and I'm sure it was fun to watch. It was definitely fun behind the wheel, so hope they enjoyed it.
Right on. Well, it looks like you can hang with them on short tracks, just like you can hang with me on super speedways. How's that sound? But I saw that comment on the YouTube short. That's all that is. Good run tonight, Kevin. Who do you want to thank or shout out for this third place finish here tonight?
Shout out to Vspeed. I say it every time, man. You guys are the best. Got to shout out the mobile homies over on TikTok, Trailer Park Dude. Look me up, give me a follow. Tons of iRacing content over there. Appreciate QSR for putting this on as well. We wouldn't be here without them, so thank you.
Right on. That is your third place finisher, Kevin West. Looking forward to seeing him out here next week. Trying to chase down that top 4 in points. Thanks, Kevin. All right, we'll send it back to Jake Reeves.
Absolutely, Morgan. We're standing by with your second place finisher, Mr. Jared Ziegler of that 57. And Jared started on the pole tonight, end up coming home in second. I mean, what more could you have done to try to get up there and have a shot with Caleb Nelson?
I could have just had a better start of a race. I mean, uh, I preferred the outside lane on the restarts, so it sucked being the pole sitter. You can't choose your lane. So he just had the better start, especially start of a race. You don't get to launch; it's the green flag that launches you. So we just had to even launch into one, and then the outside just prevailed out of two. And then it was just patience game. I didn't know how many cautions we'd have, so I didn't want to race too hard early and try and fight it back for it. And then it just fuel saving really. We had no clue. We had a good 30 lap stretch there without a caution, so we were like, well, I don't know if we'll get a caution. We didn't pit like that first group did, and it was really tight on fuel. But so I wasn't really pushing hard there. I was hoping I can get him on the pit road, being the first leader out, but he also could launch without any issues. So I don't know. It just lack of skill. I mean, he drove a perfect race, got me on the start, and that's all that mattered for him. And he was just able to drive away from it there.
And Jared, I mean, you put together a lot of very, very good finishes over the past couple of weeks. You mean, you got a podium finish. Talladega got one at Rockingham. You get one here tonight. I mean, even though they're not wins per se, it's still got to make you be able to at least have something to show for, especially because I talked about this on the broadcast with the big dogs flexing their muscles right here come chase time. That's basically got to make you feel like that even though they're not wins, they're still great finishes all the way down to the end, and at least allows you to flex a little muscle as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's good to be on form coming into the chase. We have 2 races left, I believe, but just having the momentum, build up the momentum, keep building it. Like you said, Homestead, I think I finished second. Talladega, I finished third, and that photo finish for the win. Rockingham, I finished second or third, wherever I ended up there. Of course, here again, coming home with second. That's 4 races in a row being on a podium. So it's great to keep that momentum going. We have Dover, which is one of my favorite tracks next week. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then Auto Club, that one I'm a little worried about. I'm not too fond of that one, but we'll see what we can muster up and keep the momentum rolling for the chase.
Jared Ziegler comes home second here tonight in the 57. And Jared, before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any shout outs you want to thank for making it possible?
Of course, shout out to Caleb Nelson. He dominated the race. He's one of my teammates, so it sucks to see him win, but if there's anyone else that would win in this field, I'm glad it's him. So huge shout out to Marshall Newton. He had a fantastic race going. He was running up there with us for 80% of that race, and he's there, but he's never usually right up there with us. So he showed a lot of muscle tonight. Hopefully he can build some momentum for next week as well. He's looking forward to that race as well. So hopefully he got some TV time. Shout out to his sponsors. Of course, shout out to my sponsors, Corsair and Auroras and MSI and all of them. I can't sim race without any of their equipment. So I've had no issues ever since I built this computer. with all their equipment in it. Shout out to you guys for watching or broadcasting. Can't wait to watch this one back. And then, of course, shout out to the league for putting this on. We can't do it without anyone paying for it. So it's been a fun season so far, and looking forward to the chase.
Jared Ziegler finishes second here tonight. Jared, appreciate your time. We'll see you up there in Dover Downs next weekend. That was Jared Ziegler. I said weekend for some reason or another. I'm thinking on the weekends for some reason over at Morgan. But let's go ahead and bring in our winner of the race. End up winning at Homestead earlier on in the season. He wins at another track like he was talking about, Morgan. 2 wore-out surfaces. 2 wins. Caleb Nelson gets the win. Caleb, first off, congratulations on the win. And tell us about your race, because to be honest with you, from what it looked like, it was about the same thing that happened at Homestead. Hate to tell you this, but it kind of looked boring, I guess, from your point of view, your take on the race.
Well, I would thank you first of all, but no, the car was not good for me on the short runs. It took a good 7, 10 laps probably. The more I look back at it before I started to get back into a rhythm. So all those cautions were making me a little nervous. I know Jared wasn't going to do anything dumb, but I felt very vulnerable on the restarts. So we'll take it. We'll take another win. I love my short tracks, so coming out here and winning feels really good.
And Caleb, I talked about the big dogs, I guess you could say here with the QSR Xfinity Series, the Jared Zieglers, the Kevin West, the Daniel Monises, the Ronnie Joiners. You got 2 wins on the season, more wins than some of those drivers that I just mentioned right there. Would you classify yourself as a quote-unquote big dog within the QSR Xfinity Series and someone that we should really be looking forward to come chase time?
I mean, I won't say I'm a big dog, but I can definitely put some races together. I've had some bad luck this season, but if it weren't for the bad luck and the, couple races, actually more than a couple races I missed, I feel like we'd be right up there in the mix. So I would say we're all gonna put on a hell of a chase for you guys, the broadcast, that's for sure.
We can't wait. We cannot wait. Caleb Nelson gets the win here tonight at Richmond. And Caleb, before we let you go, you got any sponsors, any shout outs you want to thank for making this possible?
I gotta thank you guys there at Vspeed and QSR for putting these races on every week. It's a lot of fun. It's great to go back to be able to watch the races through the broadcast. You guys do an excellent job. I got to thank my teammates, Jared Ziegler and Marshall Newton. Marshall, I got to give him a hell of a shout out. He had one of his best races of the year. Unfortunately, tagged the wall. Didn't end up where he should have. I strongly believe he had a 3rd or 4th place car tonight. He was doing great. But, also shout out to my wife for letting me do this on Tuesday nights. So, thanks to everybody who puts this on. It's a lot of fun. Look forward to it every week.
Never can forget the wives, because the wives are the ones that let us do this and have a good time in the process. Caleb Nelson, congratulations on the win once again, and we'll see you next week at another track that's got a worn out surface, Dover Downs.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to it.
That was Caleb Nelson, the winner here at Richmond tonight. Morgan, final thoughts on the race here tonight at Richmond, and also looking forward to the Monster Mile next week in Dover.
The action track definitely did not disappoint tonight. Great close battles throughout the field. Good battle for second for a while, but there was nobody who had anything for Caleb Nelson. Led every lap but one of them. That's got to be a little bit heartbreaking, but at the same time, just an incredible race for that 07. Good points day for a lot of drivers, and I think Daniel Mulnex this is going to be one that he definitely missed being a part of based on how good some of his competitors ran here tonight.
Yeah, there's a good possibility we may end up seeing a new point leader when we go to Dover next week. Fantastic race. Shout out to Caleb Nelson for the win, and congratulations to him. But folks, that's going to do it for this broadcast here on Vspeed Racing Network. We obviously want to thank each and every driver that participated here this evening and that they have throughout this season. And shout out to the fans, each and every one of you coming out each and every week and supporting your friends, family, loved ones, however you want to look at it. Shout out to you, the fans, for coming out each and every night and watching your favorite drivers. And also shout out to everybody in Vspeed, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, everybody that allows us to come in here, be ourselves, and have a good time doing this. And it's an absolute blast. For Morgan Cook, here with Vspeed, I am the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, saying, as I always say, be safe, be kind, be fast, and we'll see you at one of the toughest tracks in the country, the Monster Mile up in Dover, Delaware, next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on Vspeed Racing Network.